Hi guys, my name's Megan. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to share with you guys today a DIY drop cloth couch cover for a two-piece sectional. I'm not an experienced sewer by any means, but my interest comes from Pinterest and other YouTube videos for specifically this project. So come along with me as I tackle this project. Alright you guys, so I got this canvas at my local Menards, and you can get a drop cloth really anywhere online or in your local hardware stores. I also had some drop cloth that I was going to use for a previous project in prior years, so I had quite a bit on hand, and so I only needed this, and I actually had a rebate from Menards, so my cost overall cost me under $30 to do this project. Of course I had other things on hand, so if you don't have stuff for sewing and things like that, then you're of course going to have to spend a little bit more of a price on this, but ideally I wanted to do something fairly cheap because the couch that I had gotten from my Facebook marketplace was for free, which I am grateful for, and it was in great shape, but it was not a good color, and I was supposed to use it for my basement, so I really didn't care at the time. But since now I have to use it in my living room, I did need to cover it up with something because it did just didn't go with it, with my other decor. So here I am just trying to figure out a process to bleach my cloths, and it is said that you can bleach any and all drop cloth, and truth be told, you cannot bleach all drop cloth, because one that I had gotten here from Menards was more of like a lighter color, and then the other I didn't realize at the time, same brand, same product, but it was a darker color, and it did not bleach. But regardless, let's go back to this. I spent so much time on this washing machine trying to figure out how it works and how you can delay the cycle and let this drop cloth soak in the bleach. And so here I'm just trying to figure out how my washer is going to do this, because I didn't want to do it in the tub and I didn't want to do it in the sink, because obviously I would have had to cut it up quite a bit in order to do it in the sink. But I essentially found a way to delay the wash cycle, but up to 8 hours, but it actually delays for 8 hours and then starts the cycle. So that didn't work. So I had to take everything back out after I had prepped it and everything to like get the load sense and all that stuff for how heavy the load would be so the water fills up appropriately. But it didn't work, so I had to take it all back out, refigure out what I was gonna do to soak these drop cloths in bleach. And so I literally spent forever here. And of course I'm editing this, so it doesn't seem like it was forever, but I was literally down here for about a half hour. Luckily my son was taking a nap and my other son was, watching and making sure if he wakes up or not. So I had the time to do this, but I did not expect to spend a half hour trying to figure out my own washing machine. Now this is a new house that I'm living in, and the washing machine came with the house. So of course I know how to use it for normal usage, but not specifically to soak for a long period of time. So since this is like a sensory kind of, or a setup to where you can delay the washes and you can hook it up to your phone and things like that to start your cycles. It does run a little bit differently than the normal wash, but you will need a top loader washing machine if you decide to do this and tackle this project with me. And certainly I'm not an expert, but you do need a top loader in order to do a soak for your bleaching your drop cloth if you choose to bleach them. You don't have to, but I attempted to. Let's just leave it at that. I attempted. So I was frustrated at this point, really frustrated. I don't have a lot of patience, so I try. But so here I thought I it's like, okay, I can figure this out. This will work. So I have to put it back in the washing machine, and I have to let the load sense how heavy the load's gonna be and how much water it's gonna need to fill up. So it has to go through this process before the water fills up, and I didn't want to put the bleach in before, so I had to let this load sense how much water it's gonna fill up, and then pause it, take back out the drop cloths, then fill it up and let it wait till it fills up, then pour the bleach in, mix in the bleach, and then put the drop cloths back in. So here you see the load is sensing and it's spinning around, so it's kind of weighing what the material is before the water starts filling up. And of course you're going to want to use the hottest water that you can get to do this, but the most I could do with this I think was like 3 hours to let it soak. So I thought that would be enough, though I think you should be doing it like 5 to 8 hours depending on how much material you're using, and here I'm using quite a bit. So here of course you see that I am having to push play, oh my goodness, press start again on my washing machine to let the water fill up, and I'm just making sure that it's doing that and then filling up so I can get the bleach in there. And I used about 1/2 gallon of bleach for all of these drop cloths, and I didn't cut it up. I think it is suggested that you should cut up your drop cloths, but it's up to you depending on how big you want it. But it's told that in like previous tutorials that I've seen that the best way to bleach it is to cut it up beforehand. So I will go into later my thought process on that. So here I'm just gonna put it all together, spin it in, turn the cloth up in the water a little bit and kind of push it down so it kind of gets all soaked into the water. And that is the only downfall about this too, is you can't like over soak it. It measures exactly what your fabric is in your washing machine, so I can't like overfill it, and I haven't figured out how to change that, I guess. So that's the only downfall with this specific laundry or washing machine. It's by LG. And then so it didn't work for me. You can see that the bleach worked on one of them, but it didn't work on the other, and it's still kind of like a light off-white kind of color. So I actually just took a bunch of hot boiling water, put it in here, and put some bleach in there and re-soaked it. And so while I was doing that and letting it soak all day and going back and mixing it and turning it around and making sure it's bleaching, I wanted to put the bottom skirt together on the couch cover. And so I found this perfect material to use that I already had on hand, so that's something to consider too if you're doing quite a big project for a sectional. But I had a old full or queen size extra bed skirt that I had on hand, and so I will be bleaching this, and I'm not going to show it in this video at all, but I just cut it up. I kind of sectioned it out so that the corners would have like the corner of the bed skirt, so I wouldn't have to do any extra sewing or configurations, and it worked out actually perfectly. I had enough, like literally just enough fabric to use for this project, and so of course some pieces I had to kind of work in, but here I am just taking pins and pinning it the way I would want it to look on the couch. So I am gonna sew the drop cloth to this fabric in the end, but I wanna get a sense of where I want the bed skirt to lay on the ground so it's not going to show the couch underneath. Now it's tricky because this specific fabric on the end is gonna shrink, and you're gonna have to manipulate it to continue to like be the shape and form it is by either steaming it every time you clean it or ironing it out and kind of stretching it out. But in the end, I really actually love the idea that I had for this because I kind of wanted that farmhouse shabby chic look to this. So I was so glad that I had this on hand. Now I do have an extra bed skirt that looks like this, but it goes to an actual comforter for a twin size bed, and I don't have any use for that either, so I could potentially use it for another project. But for now, I'm gonna keep those separate and keep that set together just in case for future it's needed for somebody or something. So but at any rate, I had this extra bed skirt that I got from the Goodwill from years ago, and so I'm just really glad and thankful that I had it, because anything I can do less out of pocket and make my own is really, really, really prudent for me, and I love that I'm able to do that for my home. So at any rate, so I'm just going along the whole entire bottom of the couch, and the end of the left side of the sectional doesn't come off, so it's like a ottoman look to it, but it doesn't come apart. The cushion, oh my gosh, I cannot speak today. The cushion doesn't come off, and so you have to kind of get up underneath there to pin it, and so I had to really work hard on this and ottoman piece. But at any rate, I digress. So this part was probably the most difficult too, because it had I had to cut it specifically like to be able to go up underneath the couch, and also for the drop cloth to layer over. So I actually had to make a completely separate piece for the sectional. So it was really like a 3-piece sectional for me, but it's really truly a 2-piece. So you'll see at the end what I'm talking about. It's really kind of hard for me to explain because I'm not a professional sewer by any means, and I am not an expert at this. I do know partially what I'm doing, I guess, to do the project, but at any rate, I'm just gonna continue on here. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly add here that you can see that I did have to take this and take each section and cut it and pin it down to size, and it was really tricky, but there are tutorials out there for you that I used to help me get through this process, and it was really fun. But I also had couch cushions that I had to consider in to cut down to size and sew those together, and each of the couch cushions did not bleach. So this was the fabric that I used that actually did not work in the bleach process. And you see here that the ottoman had its own separate piece there, but it really turned out cute, you guys. And I will put some tutorials that I used to help me get through the process down below. I really do appreciate you guys watching this video. And if you guys have any comments or questions, please leave it in the comments below. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.